Ben's shaking his head, so...
Really?
I think it's really close.
Talk about it, Ben, because, like, I guess I'm not thinking ICM, but it looks like a profitable shove to me on 9 big blinds. 1, 2, 3,
I think
4,
it's
6
really
players to get
close. I think if it's the hand before, because Irishman's not coming off of it.
I think just given the table dynamics, the fact that I don't know, the players seem to be quite aggressive and people are just dropping quite quickly anyway, and the fact that there's... Okay,
You're never getting off by worse either. Like, obviously you need to chip up here, like you need to get some, but it's because Don Command is on like a middle stack, and if it falls around to him, he's never calling off with like King Queen or Ace 9.
Yeah.
That you're never in a good spot where you're gonna get your money in ahead or flipping. Really, like if you get it in, you might have like an Irish spin or Salatito in 9s, but like other than that, you're either just gonna take the 90k or be in like a 30-70.
Yeah.
And Irish spins in quite good, knock other people out.
So he can bust a lot of people, and the fact that there are so many other short stacks and we have a good chance of getting pay jumps, you're saying that picking up the 90k isn't that worth it, moving from 360 to 450, because if we get into an all-in confrontation, we miss out on, you know, a couple of potential pay jumps that Irish Finn is probably going to get for us, which we could get by just staying out of the line of fire. And also we have to say that then the difference between having 360 and 270 isn't that big, because we're about to lose a bunch of our chips by going through the blinds as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, one of the things is that it's such an aggressive table that so many people are just getting in against Irish Finn, and the value of the pay jumps, like, it's so much more likely that we'll get pay jumps than if it's a really, really nitty final table.
Right. That's a good point. So
yeah, if it's an Irish Finn's big blind and he's got a massive stack, and you think he'll call off with like Ace 6, and it becomes more of a shove because you can get in really like good spots to double up. But it's just not happening that often here.
Yeah. So you see, guys, this is all the things you have to consider when you're on a final table. The game gets a lot more complicated once that tournament layer comes into play. It's a concept I discuss a bit in the cash game crash course. So here we got an all-in and a call, and it's ace-king against ace-10. So Pavlinia, disappointing finish for him, 7th place, but fantastic for us because we just got a pay bump to, I don't know, 15k or something. You know, some kind of decent money. And we're very short, but that's okay. Just let Bink. Nice river there for Irish Finn. Oh, the hand where he beats queens with queen 8.
Oh. Yeah, we just got that.
Okay, so we taking this ace 3. Okay, ICM stuff. If we shove this ace 3, you know, with 4 players to get through, I think it's, again, super close if it's profitable or not. Increasing our stack by 30% here is kind of significant because we are the short stack, but at the same time not crazy significant because there are 4 other very short stacks. So staying out of the line of fire has a lot of value. The other thing is we'd be shoving into Irish Finn, who has all the chips and probably won't have a big problem calling off $250,000 when there's going to be, you know, 350,000 in the middle. Does that kind of sum it up, Ben, as to why you guys opted to fold here? Well, Charlie opted to fold, but, you know, team Gripsed. Which hand are we on? It's...
We got it.
You got it? It's ace 3.
Oh, ace 3. Oh, okay. Oops, maybe we're not.
It's the hand right after the king.
I think it's just what you said, Evan, that like an Irish Finn can call off there if he's just trying to knock a player out. He has like 9-10 suits and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's another spot where you're just never dominating. The best hand you get it in is just like 58% or something.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Josh Prager doesn't realize ICM considerations and still tries to make a bonehead steal and burns off like 25% of his stack. Way to go, Josh Prager.
Yeah, that's the same thing where like he's only min raising with aces kind of thing. So and Irish Fin's just been shoving so much.
B game gets one through. Now this one we'd shove blind versus blind with ace 4, but with no fold equity, we're not going to put it against Irish Fin. Even if we thought Irish Fin was opening every single hand, including 2-3 offsuit, we would still not go all in here with ace 4 because we know we're getting called. Maybe we're a 2-1 favorite, but we're putting ourselves at risk for elimination. Whereas if we fold, we guarantee that we don't get put at risk, and we can get some pay jumps, and the pay jumps are extremely significant at this stage of the game. So that's why I fold. What's the worst ace that you would have gone with here on the hand where you have ace 4 and Irish Fin opens to 80K? Like if you had, if you had ace king, are you putting it in? If you had ace 10, are you putting it in?
I think, ace 10, ace 9, probably ace 10, I think is the worst I would go for.
Okay.
We dominate a lot, and he's calling with every single ace as well.
Yeah.
So getting in 70-30 would obviously be great.
Speaking of ace queen, we got to run it here. Our hand's just too premium, and we are up against Jack 10 of clubs. But again, 60-40. We're out of the tournament 2 times out of 5. But the fact is, we have 200K. We're pretty short on 5 bigs. We can't fold a hand this good. And fortunately, we hold up. And now things are really interesting because we're still short with 12 bigs, but we're very much comfortable. We are in 3rd place. There are a lot of stacks that are shorter than us. And, we got like ace 2 suited. We do take the shove. Okay.
I think this is a bit different because we're shoving into 2 people who have got back than us now.
Right.
And that's the thing that I was talking about how important it is to have more chips than the other short stacks, is because when we shove, we want to be able to take the shove spots and have loads of fold equity. And we do now because they can only really call off with a tighter range because their ICM such a thing. And there's also value to be said that by shoving here and taking the shove spot, we're taking the big blinds off the off B game, and we're taking Josh Prager's shove spot, and we're not giving them a chance to chip up either.
Right.
Which means we're preventing them from getting a larger stack than us and having it the reverse the other way around.
Yeah.
So the only player to worry about is Salalito.
And even Salalito, it's like we know he's a good player, and he'll be thinking the same. That if an Irish Fin is crazy, then his like 2 million stack is worth so much if he can double up against an Irish Fin that he doesn't need to take spots against us where he might lose 500,000.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And the thing, like, if Josh Prager has like an ace 8 or something, he would definitely shove and fold it too. But when we shove, I don't really know that he can call off because of the short stacks and the pay jump. So we can actually fold him off of a lot of hands that have us beat as well. So tons of value. And with that one shove, we've kind of separated ourselves from the bottom of the pack, which is pretty significant. And big stacks go to war. Nothing too crazy. Kitschy. He's got the kitschys. 10-3. Oh, man. This guy's a funny guy. Funny guy.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused. Like, he'd been folding to 4 bets before, but then took a stand with the 10-3 out of position.
Maybe it had something to do with the chip stacks, and he thought that he could muscle the guy out because it was so close, 1 and 2. All right, so we got an interesting ICM spot on hand 554 against Josh Prager, where we have ace 10. Do you guys want to shed some light on this?
I'll let Ben say. I know what happened.
I'm not completely sure now. I don't know how Josh Prager plays. I think it's a fold against most people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that the fact that it's such a large proportion of our stack, that even if we are slightly ahead of his shoving range, which is still questionable depending on how tight he's shoving, I don't think we really want to be getting in a flip or anything, just because we are, like, we're, 3rd? Somehow, even as a short stack, and if we win, we're still 3rd. Whereas if we fold, we're third. So like, there's not that much merit to calling off and winning.
Yeah.
So when the best happens isn't that good, I think it's definitely a fold.
Yeah. And one other thing is that we note that Josh is shoving from first position, not from the button. So although he has 10 bigs, he's not going to be super wide here. Okay, cool. Big stacks going to battle.
I did tank all of this, and I wasn't completely sure at the time, but looking back, I think it's a good fold.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you made a good point. When the best case isn't even that great, it's just highly unnecessary. So this is going to be a very nice illustration of how to navigate a small stack, not sweat it, and get the big money in the end. So we have kings holding up against ace queen, which brings us down to the final 6 players, and I think gets our guaranteed payout to 18K-ish.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I think the final 6 is where it just gets ludicrous. It just gets silly. Which hand did I start on when kings?
Whatever, you have ace-7. You have ace-7 now. You've overcalled from the big blind, and then with middle pair, you peel a c-bet, and then it gets checked through, and then it gets checked to the river, and an Irish Finn takes the stab, and you hero call, and I haven't turned his cards over yet, but tell us what you think his range looks like. Actually, you know what? For the new people out there, tell them why you called the pre-flop, tell them why you called the flop, and tell them why you called the river.
Okay, sure. So when Josh Prager raises on the gun, we've already seen that he raises quite a wide range after the king 9 diamonds and an Irish Finn overcalls. So we're getting pot odds of 6 to 1 to make a call, and with the fact that we can outplay people post flop, even with such a short stack, I think it's quite a consideration, because I would say that I'm better than the other 2 players in the hand.
Yeah.
That means we can better decisions post flop. So pre-flop, I think, is a good call, even though we are dominated sometimes. On the flop, Josh Prager c-bets, and his c-bet, he'd been c-betting 100% of the time. So that means he can have literally anything, and I think a lot of the time his range from under the gun misses this board. And an Irish Finn calls, and again, he had a very low fold to c-bet. I think it was genuinely 0.
Okay.
So I don't think that means he has to have hand either. So our 7 is looking like a lot of the time it's the strongest hand. So then when the flop checks through, I think in my mind, like I just bigger than he does because he's got 0 fold to c-bet. Oh yeah, that's a good point. So if Josh Prager did have, say, like aces or something, he might size his c-bet bigger.
Okay.
Because an Irish Finn is just everything.
Right.
So turn checks through, we're very confident we have the best hand then. And on the river, when Josh Prager checks, we're confident that he doesn't have anything that beats us. And
even if he does, he can't call once you call unless he's super nutty.
Yeah, that's a good read on the situation. I did tank about this for a while, so I wouldn't be that surprised if Josh Prager somehow got to the river with 10s and then called with 10s, but I doubt he actually would get to the river with anything that beats us. So then when an Irish Finn bets, we need to think about a few things: player tendencies and his range. So the fact that he has been calling the flop up probably means that he can have any overcards. But then we also know that he didn't bet the turn. And I think when he doesn't bet the turn, a lot of his hands, just like King Queen and King Jack, would probably bet the turn because they don't have any shutdown value. And he knows, even though he's not really thinking like that, he'll be like, King High probably no good, so bet.
Right.
Whereas I think his ace highs might decide to check back. And just a lot of maybe, just like, even like ace-6 suited, ace-jack, something. Whereas I think ace-9 and even ace-5 maybe might bet the turn. So when we look at what kind of kings he can have, I think that he probably would have an ace-high, so we can think about maybe him having ace-king. But then we know that he didn't 3-bet before the flop, so it's unlikely that he'll have ace-king. All this said, we're not 100% on our reads, so we can then look at our pot odds. We need to be right 26% of the time, but then adjust ICM and stuff like that. And The thing is, if we fold, and yeah, if we fold now, then we'll be back to